This is my last district tournament of my speech career. I cried all the way here, all the way through vocal warm-ups and extemp prep. And I just lost it on a teammate because he was wearing the same colored control top pantyhose as me. My teammates think I'm crazy, but my lady bits are about to look like Georgia O'Keeffe went through a red period. I'm about to ride the cotton pony. Ugh, I'm being so coy and polite. Anywho-ha, in between my last round and this one, I decided to stop for some ice cream, and apparently Ben & Jerry's came out with a new flavor called PMS Isn't Real. The ingredients include shattered dreams, chocolate sprinkles, and an article by Dr. Gillian Einstein, director of the University of Toronto's Women's Health, that claims there was so much cultural baggage surrounding women's periods, and entire industries built upon the idea that women are moody, irrational, even unstable in the week leading up to their menstrual period. Einstein then continued to state that there is no clear link between women's negative moods and the premenstrual phase of their cycles. First of all, Dr. Einstein, your last name is Einstein and you decide to go into science? Who are you trying to kid? And second, PMS isn't real? You mean I'm just a bitch because I want to be? That's ludicrous. But the Boston Globe of October 18th, 2012 reports that after conducting and evaluating 676 studies, researchers don't dispute any of the physical symptoms associated with menstruation, but state that only 12% of these studies showed any link between women's negative moods and the premenstrual phase of their cycles. We need to stop rationalizing PMS behavior, as well as validating it, because it marginalizes an entire gender and limits women's range of emotions to a time where we are bleeding out of our hermetically sealed shame baskets. To understand what a girl wants and what a girl needs, we need to consult full binders full of women about the causes behind this misconception, then evaluate the effects before finally plugging up with some solutions. I keep bleeding, I keep bleeding blood. Like the number of teammates that are currently bleeding, their number of songs done by Leona Lewis. There are two causes behind our misconception. Men have defined women's medical history, and women have internalized it. First, historically, men have been the primary agents to define women's health problems. The first record of PMS was cited by Greek philosopher Hippocrates, who said that women have a wandering uterus, and this wandering uterus occurred in 28-day cycles, which according to men everywhere is the real horror behind 28 days later. Hippocrates went on to explain that this gypsy uterus blocked vital passages to her heart and organs, which made her mentally deranged. But he's not the only hypocrite. In 1931, Dr. Robert Franks defined PMS under the term premenstrual tension, claiming that a week prior to the onset of menses, women would experience radical changes in mood and behavior and went essentially crazy. Dr. Susan Myers explains that in 1953, the term PMS was coined, and the rest is herstory. But second, women have been socialized to believe that menstruation and the emotional side effects of PMS are a normal part of their menstrual cycle. As Marty Roden states, that most girls hear about PMS before they even reach puberty. As the Washington Post of October 30th, 2012 explains, this phenomenon is so ingrained in our culture that it's dragged out as an excuse to explain foul temper. For example, in 2011, California milk producers came out with this brilliant campaign depicting men holding gallons of milk that said, "I'm sorry that I got what you said and not what you meant. Next time I'll read in between the lines." Milk can help reduce symptoms of PMS. Advertisements like this only reinforce the idea that PMS is like Christmas for women and this bitchmas comes 12 times a year. giving women the gift of the season, the opportunity to not take other people's emotions into consideration. I know that I don't go here, but I just have a lot of feelings. Like the number of teammates that are currently bleeding on my team, there are two major effects behind our misconception. We stigmatize women as crazy, and we invalidate their perspectives. First, the idea of emotional and psychological PMS only reinforces the idea that women are nuck and futz. According to Urban Dictionary's word of the day, PMS is a powerful spell that women are put under about once every month that gives them the strength of an ox, the scream of a banshee, and the stability of a Windows operating system. Basically, man's worst nightmare. But this idea is not just limited to pop culture. In 2008, during the presidential election, the phrase, "a female president that's PMSing will nuke a country," was echoed across our nation as Hillary Clinton was running for office. Susan Markins, author of Gender and Society, states that so long as we keep pinpointing women's emotions on PMS, we will not have true equality amongst men and women. Second, PMS invalidates women's perspectives. The New England Journal of Medicine reports that women tend to hold back all of their emotions until a certain time of the month, and as a result, they are easily dismissed. It all boils down to the debate of emotion versus rationality. Since women are seen as emotional, they're clearly not rational, and if they're irrational, then society invalidates their perspectives. Us ladies are stuck in the parking garage of society, and no one will validate us. How will we ever establish equality if half the population is irrational 5 days out of every month and the other half voted for Romney? Hey, I just met you, but I'm not crazy. I've got solutions, so let's get on with it already. First, contact your congressman. Just kidding. No one does that. So first, we need to abolish the notion that women get pissy just because they're PMSing. Maybe a lady is in a bad mood because she tried to go to Walgreens to buy a Reese's peanut butter cup and she happened to be buying tampons, but the two of them are not correlated. And then she got that knowing look from the employee. Walgreens. We need to absolutely abolish it. Einstein reinforces that the studies out of the 676, only 12 showed any link between women's negative moods and the premenstrual phase of their cycles. Since the International Herald Tribune of January 3, 2013 states that there is no worldwide accepted definition of PMS, we need to get rid of the emotional aspects of it. But second, women need to start to communicate with their counterparts. Dr. Einstein states that women are really doing themselves a disservice by chalking up their negative mood to PMS because they won't get the help that they need. If women stop blaming all of their negative moods on PMS, maybe society will as well. So if you're irritated, just do the following. Hey Nick, I hate being recorded, and so I would appreciate not having camera there, here. I'm just doing my part. So today, we examine the misconception behind PMS. It's time to stop isolating and start intertwining the two genders. We examine the causes, effects, and solutions. And now that that's over, I have to be honest with you. I cried all the way here and through warm-ups and extemp prep because I'm going to miss this activity. And I can't blame it on PMS, not only because it doesn't exist, but also because I haven't had my period in 5 months.